Hey everybody, Randy here with Academia Christi, back with another episode of the Viri Christi Garden Update. This is the weekly update. This is October the 19th. It's a Thursday. And as you can see behind me, I have a bunch of stuff. If you didn't catch one of the last videos, I have a bunch of stuff now in here, chilling for now, up there. But I'll probably bring these out quick for today, maybe even into tomorrow. As we'll see, just about 56 or so right now. Should get up into the 60s today. Should remain, I think, in the 50s overnight. So we're going to, keep this stuff outdoors for a day and a half ish, and then we'll be bringing everything pretty much in for the winter probably. Some stuff we might be able to take back out. It actually looks like we're going to get very close to our first 32-degree night, but after that it's supposed to go back into the 60s for maybe a couple days. So we'll see what that is like, and maybe a couple things will come back out again for just some more nice kind of decent weather and sun. Yeah, so anyway, let's just get into it. Like I said, this stuff is going to be coming out shortly, and I will be fertilizing again everything, probably maybe one more time, that I'm going to be keeping at least to try to go like a lot of the peppers that I just want to get some out of, that I haven't gotten any out of those certain varieties. But in here, we don't have any of those yet. They're still all outside. We have our single potted California Wonder, our single potted banana pepper. Both of those are going to be kept. Got our Gen 2 Cayenne, which is going to be kept, still fruiting. Got our still fruiting fish pepper, which is probably also going to be kept because it just looks so nice. Look how massive it is. It's very nice and bushy. These nice cream colored peppers in there. I've been producing really well. Got a lot off of it so far. That one looks like it's starting to ripen a little bit. And then our two basils that I want to keep. I'm pretty sure that this one can be perennialized. I'm not sure about the regular sweet basil, but we're going to bring it in anyway and see what happens. It's looking really brown now. I don't actually see very much new growth at all, but maybe we can change that whenever we fertilize. Maybe some newer growth still on this red basil, maybe just on the spots where I didn't cut it back recently. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see if a new shot of fertilizer helps anything out or not. Here's some more basil I got still in those. The Thai basil that was like these went into one of those black plastic pots. It's in the garage still. I should bring it out now today since it's a nice day out. See how it's looking. Got our one of our the only ghost pepper from the hydroponics is out of the unit now. I have one more in there that we'll be bringing out, putting into probably another one of these. Got our two December peppers, not doing well. Last time I really looked close, they did have some flower buds. Oh yeah, there's a flower there. That is the Serrano. So they are still kind of doing something, and again, those will be fertilized as well. Just fertilize whatever, unless I just get rid of them. I don't know yet. I've got our two poblanos from the hydroponics here. This Anaheim chili is the other round 2 hydroponics pepper. Matches those that are right down here. This just had a few peppers come off, the first few from the bottom. Has several up here that are looking pretty nice. Gonna try to keep this one. I don't know if we'll keep it for good, but we might keep it one more year or over winter, or just for the early winter. Who knows? Let it fruit a little longer. Same with these poblanos. I might try to keep one until the end of its life, five years or whatever. Both of them again fruiting nicely. This one has a big old broken branch there, big pepper on the end of it. It's sort of holding up, I guess. I'm gonna keep it on there as long as it lasts, I guess, because there is a big pepper that maybe will ripen soon. That'd be cool if it started doing that, and then I'd take it off and God help the break. Both of them doing really nicely. This one, actually, that big pepper is also from that one. This one has a bunch of smaller ones. I'm not really sure now. It's hard to tell which one was initially the bigger one. I don't know. And finally, we have our yellow hot wax here, banana pepper. Well, hot banana pepper, that is. It's actually got several flowers on it. Finally finally it's doing something. It's had just this one pepper for a long time, really looking tiny, spindly, not very leafy, getting there, but I don't really feel like keeping it because obviously it's not doing good. Oh, and then up here, that's it for our corner here. This basil's supposed to come in with me. I left it out here last night. Oops. But it still looks like it's okay. I have the other small pot of basil, which is the red basil, inside already in the kitchen. Up here we got the oregano that's like almost dead. I decided to keep it. I actually watered it yesterday. Got our sage, which is looking really, really nice. Probably gonna maybe last a little longer now in here. Got back here, this is the that's the ahi limon branch that broke off. Just kind of trying to root it in there. I don't know if it'll work. Got our two marjoram that are still doing things. Should cut them back. Got our fish pepper that's really long and not doing anything. Oldest of the fish peppers, the newest of the three fish peppers. A little bigger, doing a little bit. We had one decent sized pepper come off. I think just one so far. There's the next one that'll come off, I think. Still could plant something, I think, in the other side here. I'd like to, maybe just by seed at this point. Got the ring of fire that matches these fish peppers, planting wise. The other bonsai chili, but I just cut the whole thing off, and we'll see if that little piece does something. Ring of fire cayenne. Then we got this poblano, which was a late bloomer. Gonna move it into something once I have some kind of pot open for it. I guess it'll come in with me, but I do have those other poblanos, and I was thinking about keeping one, and I don't really need two poblanos. Although I could try to experiment with like a mini poblano, since that's what it is right now. Got our two parsleys, which are looking great. Looking a little less great now after the couple cold nights and the row cover on top of them. And then finally our lavender, which is also looking really good, just comparatively. We got our banana pepper here, still doing. Again, need to fertilize everything. It's really droopy, but it's kind of perked up recently since I watered it. Can use that every now and then. And then last thing in here is our very first hydroponics. One of the very first hydroponics, the biggest of the jalapenos. This is like the harvest number 2.5 for it. Not necessarily the third harvest, but like the second and a half. Looking really great. Tons of flowers still on it. A lot of peppers that'll be growing, and again, it'll be coming indoors. This is one I'm pretty sure I'm going to be keeping as long as possible. You can tell it's one of the best looking potted peppers. Again, one of the oldest. And actually the only single potted of this age. So it has, again, some damage because of my row cover. But that's my fault. Could do a better job with it next year. It'll be better, more well planned out. But yeah, that's it for in here. Let's get on with it. I guess I'll also show real quick. Yesterday I grabbed a couple peppers and got a little bit of a harvest. These are all the Jimmy Nardellos, first Jimmy Nardellos. I was hoping some of them were at least starting to ripen, but I'm not seeing much changing. Oh, that's a little darker yellow there, maybe. This one looks like it's changed the most, and that's okay, I guess, because it does have this blemish. I would maybe like to even use that quick if I can. A couple of Aleppos from the old Aleppo, potted Aleppo. Cherry bomb from the potted cherry bomb. I think actually maybe the first one we took from there, perhaps. A couple new fish peppers. This one was a little older, but these were all newer, fresher fish. Again, a potted pepper, and this is from the potted cayenne that's over there, the Nature's Edge Gen 2 cayenne. So yeah, one of the Gen 2 cayennes. Oh yeah, and two California Wonders. One other one that's like a little, just a tad smaller than this one that's inside already. Yeah, decent. So a bunch of sweet, well, at first had a bunch of sweet peppers, then we got a few more mild ones here, hot ones. Again, just posted a video of me just testing 11 of my pepper varieties going up to the hottest one being an orange habanero. So definitely check that out. All right, I'm just going to go quickly through all this stuff again. As I always say, parsley, some other dry herbs that I started myself. Wormwood, some moss phlox, some patience, some ornamental stuff. My marigold that I started by myself by seed. These peanuts that we just checked and found that I have like 2, 3, maybe like 3.5 or so peanuts grown. That's cool. So those I'm gonna dump those bags soon, maybe today. I'm gonna try to clear all this stuff up as much as I can today and tomorrow, because this is like it. This is it. And I said we are going to have those other days, but it's going to start getting very close to freezing, if not just freezing, just barely there. So a lot of the stuff is just going to be done then. I would like to try to give it the best chance it can, doing whatever I'm going to do with it, or just get rid of it because it'll be done. More stuff: coneflowers, geraniums, 2 lavender, 2 of each of those things. Lemongrass, really want to do something with that before we're out of time. One of our 4 massive parsleys growing in this planter, which was my herb planter, all by itself. Now it's like, okay, I will just take this thing over then, if you don't want anything else in here, sir. I mean, this thing is massive, just massive. It looks like a big sprawling celery. Probably, I mean, look at that thing. You dip that thing in some peanut butter. We'll be looking at my celery in a bit. Oh, this is my chard, which hasn't actually been tried by anybody. See, some of these older leaves are looking old and eaten. Something is eating them, not somebody, but something. Got some new leaves still, and this is basically right now just the chard. I should just pull this prize head lettuce. The chard, yeah, the chard is looking great, and it's pretty cold hardy. I think you can even deal with a bit of frost, so this might just hang out outside. We can always, of course, have a few things outside that we can cover just all the time for the night or whatever, whenever it's needed. I was going to use this for indoor leaf lettuce through the winter, which probably will still happen once this chard's done, but I do want to see what's going to happen with that now. Planted nicely right in the middle of the thing. The parsley's off to the side, but it doesn't really care, so... I don't know what I'm going to do. This was going to be an herb. Oh yeah, you know what I'm going to do? This was going to be my herb planter. It's going to continue to be indoor herb planter. I'm just going to have to cut the parsley back a bit, which will be fine, so I can kind of like seed some other herbs in the corners, and I'll just keep it a planter, because you know what happens? Parsley is a biennial, apparently, and if you get to the 2nd year of parsley, you uproot it, and you have yourself basically a parsnip style root rhizome, almost, you know, like a carrot. You can already see it's massive, so I believe it. So this might be one we can do that. We're actually going to try to do with all of them, because we have those other 2 potted ones still on the porch, so I'm going to be bringing back out for a bit, and we can keep those as well, because why not? The only one I probably won't, because I have 4 big parsleys right now. The only one that won't come is this herb planter here that we looked at. Probably just going to get rid of all that, or try to overwinter it out here. See what happens with those things. Dill's just done. Dill's an annual all the time, I assume. All right. Getting through these quick. Again, these tomatoes pretty much done, but they're a good they're a good way to see how close everything else is going to be to being done for the year, because they're uncovered, they're in pots, and they're tomatoes. So if they die, it means everything else is going to be very close behind. This is done, but this isn't really a good gauge by itself. This is my early girl that was actually very late and stunted from the hydroponic. All of these are hydroponically grown, started. This will be dumped out soon, as with many of the other things that need dumped out. Thought that was some kind of bug at first, but it's some goofy small tomato. Pluck that off. That is our black prim. Not looking very black ever. Never did. Slightly starting to die off, I guess, but it's still looking great, honestly. Very tiny tomatoes, though, is the problem. These Also probably could have used fertilized. It's been over a month. That's kind of when you want to do it. So I kind of missed the sweet spot again, as always. We have some nice. These are bodacious beefsteaks hybrids from Burpee. Fantastic. Both of these can be plucked. That one just started to ripen there. This one definitely started ripening. Looking great still, plant-wise as well. And next to it, we have another nice looking one still. Wow, Brandywine Red. What happened to you, sir? Just a giant chunk of it gone. So that's crazy. I don't know. Well, I don't really know how much was there. I can't remember. I mean, it probably wasn't massive, but it was something. Something substantial. It looks like another piece there gone. Huh. But this is the plant itself. See all those, it's actually like split off. I don't even know. This is a sucker here. I think this is the sucker. It's actually really hard to tell which one is the main one at that point, but they both look nice. That one is probably the main one just because of the way it's growing. But a lot of nice tomatoes. None of them are ripe quite yet. Looking a little darker than the other Brandywine Reds did. I hope that one might be pickable there. A couple others actually. That one looks like it may be pickable too in there. That one on the left. We have a bunch of Romas, very tiny Romas here, but Romas, they still are. The plant has had enough. It's produced very well. It's been one of the best, along with the cherry tomato. Produced, I couldn't even count. It's been a lot. It's been a decent bit. Several dozen, few dozen, 3 dozen maybe. Maybe 3 dozen. Between 2 and 3 dozen. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it was pretty decent. Probably closer, maybe 3 dozen-ish. Maybe even more, probably more than 3 dozen for the cherry. A little under 3 dozen. Over 2 dozen though for the Romas, especially counting what we still have here. I mean, because even this 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 is actually 9 right there. So that's pretty good. And 10 if you want to count that little guy. Yeah, I just need to come pick these cherries. You see there's another 4, 6, 7 that are ready and 2 down here that I could have gotten if I wasn't late. Maybe I am not too late. Oh, nothing found them yet. Maybe they just fell. But those are actually still good, so cool. Nice. The cherry tomato, I'd probably say did the best. It's still going. Relatively strong. It's very large. You can see it's just sprawling all over the place. Doesn't care one bit. I could try, if I really wanted to try my hand at overwintering tomatoes, it'd probably be that one. I don't know if I'd do any other ones, but I may potentially, if I have the space, do that cherry tomato because it's been great and still looks great, even though it's structurally it's goofy as heck. I think we can fix that if we overwinter it. Fix it a bit at least. Cherokee Purple, first one to start fruiting, had a lot of problems. First one to start dying. Still has green leaves on it though, so I don't know what to think about this thing. I think it's just gonna die soon enough at this point though. I think it started sort of trying to recuperate from whatever was going wrong with it, and then again it started getting cold, so it just didn't have that chance. Didn't have long enough to come back. These guys, all the same kind of. My Amish paste here, the super sauce, and our heirloom beefsteak kind of all went off. Well, especially the Amish paste in the beefsteak went off really quickly, grew really large really quickly, even though the beefsteak came out later than the other ones. They had a few nice big tomatoes come off, and then that was about it. Then they both had maybe a few small dinky ones like you see here that ended up making it okay. The super sauce, I waited a long time. I was very skeptical and growing more so by the day the way this thing was going, but it eventually ended up having a couple tomatoes that looked edible enough and ended up getting to the point of ripening. that it actually was quite a success. Maybe one of the, there's a couple that didn't do much. I'd say this was a little better than those. I had a few that were, over a few that were like this or bigger. I had a couple that were like like maybe this big. You can see kind of how my hand's cupped there. But now it looks like it's about done, as all of these three do. It's probably actually the best looking of the three, the greenest of the three at least. Has some more leaves probably than the others as well. None of them looking amazing. Probably all done again, as I said. Same with the Cherokee. Cherry and the, I may also, the Brandywine Red might be one that I would keep. Not really too concerned about keeping any of the other ones. Even though the Bodacious Beefsteak did do really well. Oh gosh, here I go. See, if I would do three, then maybe the Bodacious would be third. But I highly, highly doubt I would do three. I don't even think I would do two. I don't even know if I'll be doing one. So, who knows? If I don't know, then nobody knows. Come over here, look at how our strawberries are faring. I'm just going to bring these three in soon, so that I don't have to worry about them anymore. If they live inside, like overwintering them, then they do, and that's cool. If not, then they don't, and that is less cool. But I guess it's okay. So it would also help if I don't try to destroy them before that happens. The potted guy is looking decent still. He's also going to come in. No reason to keep him here all winter. I doubt that. I probably just move them all in the same time. Should cut him back a little bit. Look at that nice green growth in there. Beautiful. Could probably cut all these back a little bit. They could probably use a bit of a manicure. This one is doing just fine after taking a little tumble. Yeah, they're all looking okay. I guess what you would expect from year one strawberries, right? How long do they live? I think they live like 2, 3, 4 years. I don't think they live that long. I think it's like maybe 3 years, if that. It's got to be at least 3, because they tell you to cut back both the runners and the flowers year 1, and then they tell you to cut back the runners still year 2, I think. So obviously they want you to like let the runners go year 3 at least, so you have some strawberry. That's the whole point. They gotta last at least 3 years, maybe 4 then. Right, here we are at the just uncovered potted stuff, outside potted stuff that I still have out here. I'll first note the Thai basil here I was just talking about, that I just brought out of the garage now, so it just came out. Everything else was covered and out here already. Hoping that this will, because I just did it recently, hoping that it'll soon root in there, reestablish itself, and really take off, hopefully, during the winter months. But it's a perennial, so we do have to keep that in mind. Hopefully we can kind of get it back to like a normal growth period, because it's supposed to grow obviously during the summer in climates like here. So maybe it'll be, like one really long season for it, or maybe it just won't really. Maybe we'll just have to start winterizing it this winter or something. Who knows? Let's check out what is still out here. We'll start right here with our other first batch of hydroponics. The jalapeno, the solo jalapeno, is inside on the porch. These are the ones that go along with it. These 2 bags here, both have been outside. They haven't actually been outside all that long. That's where most of the leaves from this jalapeno went, from sun damage, just from being brought out a little too quickly after it spent most of its time this summer on the porch. Same with this, but it didn't get as damaged, for maybe just because it's lower to the ground. It's a little smaller, might be why. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not going to keep either of these, so I'm not sure if we'll see really anything more happen here. This guy will start ripening soon, probably, actually, and that'll maybe be it. Who knows when we'll really throw it out? I don't know. haven't decided on that yet. Here we have our pot, 2 basils and a parsley and a dill, all from the hydroponics early on. The dill, again, it took me a long time to realize that I need to top the dill to keep it bushy. So none of my dill really worked out that well. They all got really long before I realized that. The parsley, like all the other parsleys, has really shot off recently. Plucked it back, used some because we wanted to use it. I didn't know what was really going to happen. And then all of a sudden, they all took off like this. So it was nice to see. Got these 2 basils here as well. Don't know what that's about. That might have just been me topping it. The Genovese, I believe. Kind of hard to tell now. And this, but I'm pretty sure the Genovese is much bigger at this point. And then this, the large leaf Italian, which has some flowers on it. Yeah, again, this one, probably just going to let these go. If I could just let them go to seed, that'd be great. That would be the plan, I guess. I don't really need anything in this. I'm probably just repurpose this for something else next year. First, let's go over here to our spearmint. Again, kind of dying off. I do mean to bring this in kind of earlier than the others, but again, it's nice now, so it can stay out. Got a couple peppers here. I'm gonna yeah, let's just go over them now, I guess. Got 2 that have been in these pots for a bit. I think they were started mid-April. Kind of some of the only April plants that I actually had pull through, unfortunately. This is our Hungarian black, which has produced really well up to this point. Again, it's cold now. It's mid-October, going into late October, which is well past our average frost. So weather's kind of trying to hang in there. Got some flowers up here, that's cool. Again, with some fertilizer, maybe we'll see a few more peppers if we have the room to put it in for early winter. I don't know, again, how many I'll be winterizing. I don't know how many I'll just be bringing in for the early winter and then letting go a little later. But either way, this pepper has been really great. I wouldn't mind keeping it for next year. Again, yeah, so if I can, I should probably just winterize as many as possible, especially if they look like this. Just take a look at that thing. Oh my goodness, it's a beast. In a pot, year 1 in a pot, and not just year 1 for the plant, but year 1 for me as a gardener in general. I would certainly take that. I mean, you would trim it back, maybe, I don't know, maybe around here somewhere. You keep like this shoot maybe down to like there. Keep like these other ones, just small bits of these other couple ones down here. Keep a few of the offshoots, keep enough of the main trunk for those offshoots. I think that's all you really need to keep to winterize. And then you just need to have like a dim kind of location that doesn't freeze. I'm pretty sure that's really all you need to winterize. So we're going to be trying it if we can. We're certainly going to be trying it with some, as many as I would possible, of course. I probably wouldn't even do all if I could. I don't know if I would end up doing these guys. Maybe I'm kind of tempted to do these cayenne just because these are my Gen 1 cayenne all together. I have another Gen 1 jalapeno that's by itself again, so I don't necessarily need that one. And I could repurpose that bag for something else then. Anywho, the other pepper that was the same kind of the sibling of this one came at the same time, was done the same way. The only other one to survive is this Aleppo, which we just saw a couple of its peppers that recently came off sitting in the porch area. Here's another one that I could have taken off, can take off now if I want. And actually, now that I'm looking, there are a couple other ones, but they're all small right now. That might be the last of the nearly ready ones. Everything else looks like it's pretty fresh. So yeah, this will be our last Aleppo for now. Oh no, there's this one down here that might also come up soonish. But yeah, not bad. The Aleppo is also produced really, really nicely. I always do this like around noon, I guess. And then over here we have our ahi limon, which would be in the line with the rest, but it is a bit different because it's in this black plastic pot, and it's just a different pepper in general. It actually, really looks quite different in many ways. Its leaves are like kind of more broad, I'd say. I mean, I guess the chinens have their own kind of leaf variety as well. I thought I also saw, maybe not, kind of seen, oh yeah, maybe. It seems like there's tiny little hairs on the ends of the leaves, the edges. It's really hard to see with the camera probably, but it's really hard to see with my eyes, so I'm sure it's hard to see with the camera. See definitely the different looking flowers, peppers in themselves. This is Capsicum baccatum rather than Capsicum annuum or Capsicum chinens. And again, hoping that this will be good in our mountainous climate. It's actually why I think I want to kind of leave it out a bit to see if it can handle just a bit. And I don't want to leave it in any freezing weather, of course. But how much can it handle, really, is the question. But you know what? I don't need to do it with this one because we have two that are in ground. So, I mean, we don't really have a choice with those. They're certainly not good enough to dig it, to uproot and put in another pot, which I don't even have. So, we'll definitely just find out with those, I guess, which we will be looking at in a bit. Here, finally, on this side at least, before we get into our sweets to super hot line that's now like refreshed because of all the movement. This is one of our many ghost peppers, which doesn't have anything happening other than some flowers. But again, it's one that I can bring in with me and maybe overwintered, but before that, I will just be trying to get a few peppers off of it. And then probably we'll try to overwinter it, as I will probably do with many of these things, particularly all the habaneros all the colored ones I haven't even gotten to try yet. This are one of our two vipers, or the smaller one. It's actually looking horrible. This is probably from the cold. My guess is that maybe the chinen's varieties can't handle it quite as well as some of the annuums. That even, that have also just been probably bred over and over again. I don't know where they're done, so they may have like perfect conditions all the time. My goal is actually to specifically with jalapenos, cayenne, and maybe orange habaneros, maybe a few other varieties that after maybe a year or two I end up really preferring. I would like to keep getting my own very pure seeds of those varieties. But just, I think the more generations of my own seeds I go through, the hardier that those seeds and those varieties, particularly though coming from my plants, I think that they'll kind of gain, I think they will kind of gain like a hardiness trait for my zone. They'll kind of become a little more cold tolerant. I'm not saying they're going to be able to survive my winters here, but I'm just saying that they'll be able to maybe handle like 5 degrees cooler over time, and that'd be great if I could get some jalapenos, some cayenne that are just a bit more cold tolerant. Say that they are okay down to 45 degrees or something. And these have been okay down to 45. They're still fine, but I'm talking like actually still okay down to 45. I don't know how many peppers are capable of that. I'm sure there are some, specifically sweet bells like the Ozark Giant, the Emerald Giant. I think those are two varieties we're probably going to try next year just because they should be suitable for our climate. Anywho, let's get back to these peppers. We come over here now and check out first our Jimmy Nardello. We just saw a few of those I'm hoping are ripening on the table. There's two here that look like they're at the same place as the other ones that I picked, but I kept these on for now. They're actually both growing at this initial juncture there. So the first two, they should be about the same time for that reason. Then we have our shishito. You can tell the cold is definitely getting to these guys, but maybe maybe with the next day and a half or whatever, maybe they'll start bouncing back just a little bit. And again, I think I'll have enough time to get fertilizer in all these guys, hopefully today, but if not, I think tomorrow will work as well. And then we'll start making sure that they're all indoors somewhere for when that cold hits. Shishito, yeah, we do have a few fruits on here. Not quite ripening, I don't think. Nothing looking too, I'm assuming they get red-ish. At least something other than green. I don't see anything happening. Same with our Greek pepperoncini, which, as you can tell, are very similar to the shishitos. And yeah, I think they're just very similar types of peppers, so that's why. And also very similar spice range. Those are also about the same place in their ripening, I would say. We've actually had one of these Santa Fe Grandes, not from this plant, but we have had one from the back. These don't look like like the one in the back got yellow, like a nice waxy kind of creamy yellow pretty quick. These have not, so it leads me to believe that they're certainly not ripening yet. And they can go, I believe, the whole way to red, but they can also, I think, stop at like a creamy yellow, or just maybe they can only stop at an orange, but I've seen just orange ones. But of course, as most peppers are, you can just pick them whenever. You know what, you usually want to wait until they stop like their initial growth process, but that's usually easy to tell whenever they stop growing, and then whenever there's like a decent period between their growth ending and their ripening beginning. So you can pick any time between there as well. But of course, if you do that, you probably want to use them quick, because they do, in my experience, tend to wilt if they're not ripe yet. They wilt much quicker. Our Cubanelle here, not a whole lot happening on this one. It's not looking great. Maybe some fertilizer will help out. I think that's really the case with that one and this one. Look at, it's crazy compared to all these that are next to it, especially because those are like nice deep dark green foliage. And some of this is also perhaps by variety as well. But that one, while they've always kind of been lighter, these big Jims, New Mix big Jims, this is way too light, obviously, because these leaves are like dying. But actually, these big Jims are actually coming up. These may be the first ones I've seen. I don't know if any of them in the back are actually fruiting yet. So, not completely terrible, I guess, since there's something there. But we do definitely need to fertilize, that is. Probably another one ready on this cherry tomato, on this cherry bomb. No, I thought maybe that one. I thought it had another one. Maybe not. Guess it is that one should be next, but it's taking a bit. I don't like the look of it. The stem there. I don't like when the stems start doing that. So I'm not sure. Might pick that soon. And that maybe, I don't know how much the cold might affect, or might cause something like that. Serrano here, getting a bit spicier. A bit of a jump there between these two. These are looking okay. They're looking all right, I guess. Nothing huge. It's actually one of the better looking plants of Serrano, so that's cool. That's cool that it happens to be the potted one, bagged one, so it'll be coming in. I do want to, it seems to be one of the more, like, the secondary popular, there's like the primary popular ones, I would say the Three Musketeers, when we're talking non-sweets, because you talk sweets, then you have your Bells / California Wonders and your banana pepper. But the spicy ones, you got jalapeno cayenne and your habanero, probably specifically orange habanero. But then there's like a second tier. I've seen like poblanos, Anaheim chilies. Those both seem like they're pretty well known. And then you have Serrano, seems to maybe not well known to just food people, but like growers seem to maybe, like Serranos are in a lot of packs of seeds I've seen. And then I would say like Thai chilies. Everyone knows Thais. A lot of people know pepperoncinis and shishitos, I would think, though, and those are all very similar in some ways. I guess not the Thais, but the other ones. And yeah, so, and then people also, of course, know the ghost pepper. Oh, also in pepper news, maybe you've seen that there's a new hottest pepper world record. It's the Pepper X, made by the same person, created by the same person that made the last world record, which was the Carolina Reaper, and I think that was a I want to say 2.4, maybe a little less, maybe a couple points less than that. Million Scoville heat, so ridiculously hot, like twice as hot as over twice as hot as a ghost pepper. And then, yeah, this was, I think, 3.1, 3.2 million, so like wiped the other one out. I don't know exactly what the world record ended up being, but that was what I've seen unofficially. It was, I think, 3.1 or 3.2 mil. So that's crazy hot. I guess that means now that it's official, we maybe have to get one of those too when we get our Carolina Reapers, maybe next year. Hinkle Hot's here. Hinkle Hot's here. 1 2 1 2. They're not looking huge. Yeah, no, we haven't had any of these yet. Sydney's crying like somebody just came, but I don't see anybody, so I don't know what her deal is. There are people inside though, of course. Probably wants to go hang out. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait a little bit for that, but yeah, I haven't tried the Hinkle Hots yet. Definitely want to. Peckin, haven't tried the Peckins yet, but something tells me that some of these Bailey Peckin are going to be ripening soon. There are some that look kind of nice in the back as well. We'll be back there. Maybe we'll get lucky and see a few varieties ready that we haven't had yet, like last time. This Peckin, though, nothing yet. Again, I really like the structure of both of these. I really like the structure of this thing. Is just looking, surprisingly, it's almost looking better and better every time I look at it. Even though it's getting colder and colder, it's hanging in there. And these are some of the ones that I'm kind of most concerned about. Again, I'm pretty much concerned about all these small potted ones. But some of them I guess I have actually tried, so if push comes to shove and I only have so much room, the things I definitely haven't tried yet will be top priority. Thai, Bailey, Peckin, Hinkle Hots being 3 of those. And the Charleston Hot probably, because it's another one I haven't tried yet. It's looking much better, just like the ones in the back. It seemed to take a while to start fruiting, but once those fruits started, they blasted off. They're getting pretty big. I'd like to see them maybe be... It's easier to monitor this when it's not cold and or they're in the indoors. So, yeah, well, it's not cold or they're indoors and I can do it that way. But we're not at either of those, but we're kind of in between those two right now. Soon to be at the cold part and just having them indoors mostly. This is my doubled up banana pepper next to the doubled up California Wonder, just as we saw the solo potted ones that are in on the porch. These are, yeah, doubled up, so I'm not as concerned about them. Again, if I have plenty of space, then I wouldn't mind overwintering them. But yeah, at the moment, not too concerned. This is the last pepper between the two of them actually to come off. Oh wait, there's also this tiny guy here. But that's it. And they don't look all that bad. I kind of like the stockiness of both of these California Wonders here. I wouldn't doubt that they would start doing more if and when I fertilize them. I don't know if I'll do the ones that I'll probably just do everything, because why not? Because I don't exactly know what I'll keep. I don't know. I don't think the fertilizer right now, I think it'll be okay for everything that I end up just winterizing. I think they'll be all right. But maybe that means that everything has to be held off just a bit early winter before I end up actually doing that. Or I just hit it with the wet stuff. That's a quick 2 week thing. That would probably be the better choice, because 2 weeks they can last that, and then like a month in, I'll do the winterizing maybe. Anywho, yeah, one nice pepper that could actually probably come off soon. It's surprising, maybe again because it's cold, it's slowed down the ripening process, but it should be ripened soon. I'm surprised it's not yet. Those are, I guess that was just an intermission between our peppers here. We ended with those Pekin, Thai, and the Charleston. Those were the hottest up until we get to the habaneros here. We come over here to our orange habanero. Sydney, do you really want in? Okay. Don't be a big butthead though. What? You just wait. She's gonna be so mad at me. Anyway, orange habanero here. Look at those. Got some habaneros on there. That's not so bad. I mean, they may even end up a little tiny, but whatever. Got a couple. And again, the habaneros actually tend to drop a lot of leaves from the cold, more than many of the others I've seen. I'm not crazy about the structure. Again, a lot of damage at the top from the floating row cover that wasn't floating so much. But again, if I bring it in, it's in a pretty huge pot, and if it just has the right atmosphere, I can see it picking up and going pretty crazy. I loved the taste of my very first, I'm pretty sure it was my very first raw orange habanero just by itself whenever I did that video. Amazing flavor. Now I know what the flavor is. I recognized it in many of the habanero things I've tasted. Wonderful. So I definitely want more of those, but because of that I also want more of all the other colored habaneros, so I know what all the different ones taste like. This is the white. Yeah, it should be the yellow one next, but it is the white. The yellow one is the same heat. It should be about the same heat as the orange, but not as low of a floor. The habanero orange goes down to 100K. This only goes down to 200K to 350K. I think this guy, the white, is like 200 to 450K though. Maybe not 450, maybe 400. But it definitely goes a little higher than the orange and the yellow. Neither of which, the white or the yellow right here, have any. Actually, there is that little tiny guy growing in there, right there. That's all I see though, none on the yellow. I'm actually very surprised by the look of this yellow habanero. It was supposed to be the best of my yellows. I have 5 of them all together. I'm surprised that was the best of the 5, because I didn't think there was any decent white ones. But that white habanero right there, it may be the best of these habaneros. This one, this red one though, is also still pretty good, and it'd probably perk up really nicely if we got it some warmth, got it some fertilizer. But I still don't see any fruits on this guy either. And we got flowers all over the top. Weirdly, it doesn't have a whole lot of flowering down here. It took it a bit. It's got flowering over on these suckers that are now all over. There's 4 of them on each corner, pretty much. Then we also have basically four prongs, and then some. But there's like 4 main prongs right now, all flowering too. But down at the first prong and the next 2 prongs, we do have 2 flowers here, which should be then the furthest along. Not great for the red, but again, it could bounce back nicely. The worst of them is what is labeled an orange habanero. It's actually the chocolate habanero, which is looking horrid. I am hoping that it will do something at least. Oh my, look at that, there's a flower. That's what we're looking for, obviously. That's what I'm talking about. That is probably our first orange habanero flower. At least first successful. There's a couple there, as there should be on habaneros. There should be multiple in each spot, like cherry tomatoes, in that way, sort of. That's the Thai basil again. Super excited about those habaneros. Oh, and one more thing to note about those. I guess this video is going to get a bit long, unfortunately. Sorry, as always. But again, this is our walk around weekly update, so that's why. Going to look at everything kind of in depth. Again, I'm trying to get through everything that has happened earlier in the year, if I at least remember to. I guess I really haven't been talking about what happened with these earlier in the year. Although again, they took so long. It was like late August or something when a lot of this stuff, yeah, I know it's really, really late when a lot of this stuff was finally in the ground or in their pots, especially the latest. Anywho, I was going to say about the habaneros, we definitely know there might be other varieties, but for all I know, but as far as I know, orange habanero is an orange habanero. Yellow habanero, actually, I didn't see on the one list that seems like a compilation of many good lists that I've been using here. I didn't actually see any yellow habaneros. I had to look that up separately, and that's where I got that. So there may only be one yellow variety, and I'm assuming it's going to have like I don't know, hard to describe, I guess, but there's probably like a yellow flavor. I don't want to say citrusy because that is kind of, the orange is kind of also citrusy, but they're going to have their own distinct, the orange and the yellow, even their own distinct flavors. So that's what I'm really, excited for. The white, I think they describe it as like a smoky. This is the yellow. The white, like a smoky kind of flavor. I don't know what that means exactly, but again, should be different. But again, there's also, I know for sure there's multiple type white varieties, but they didn't tell me what kind of white habanero it is. Same as the red, I know there's multiple reds, and these guys are the hottest, other than the chocolate habanero. That's the hottest of all habaneros, supposedly. The red, I think 2 reds, and they're both next hottest, but I don't know which red this is. Maybe there's even more than 2 red habaneros, but again, I only saw 2 reds. I was hoping that, again, we got some peppers so we could maybe distinguish. Maybe we could determine which of those 2 it is. And maybe we will be able to. Maybe not. Maybe we will have such deformed peppers that we won't be able to tell. And then finally, over here at least, we have our ghost pepper, which again, these the row cover really kind of kicked these guys in the butt. 2 ghost peppers growing right there that don't look half bad. Those are the first ones we got, although, yeah, it's just a leaf down there. I don't really see any more pepper. We're going to have them on these suckers here, but I don't see any other ones on the main stalk. And this one I was actually starting indoors over the summer because, at the same time I started the other ones like early summer, because I wanted to just practice with the grow lights a little bit more. So we just had this one in there, and it was growing really nicely. I thought, and it wasn't bad, but what I failed to remember was that it was a Chinense variety and they grow bushy, and it wasn't so bushy, but it is now. But that's why the pronging didn't start until up there, because for that reason, exactly that reason. It just didn't have, probably the light, probably just insufficient light, as normally happens with my stuff. That's what I was kind of trying to work on, but it's doing fine now. Again, it's going to come back indoors though. Has a couple peppers on it. The thing is that now they're at a point where if I bring them in, they'll at least be able to finish their fruiting cycle now. That's about what I'm looking for. That's all I'll get. That's fine. Here, next hottest after our ghost is our 7-pot Jonah, the only 7-pot Jonah we have. The ghost is about 1 million. Goes up to about 1 million Scoville. This goes to about 1.2 here. And I see there's some decent bundles of flowers all over the guy, just not any fruiting too largely yet. Some maybe are fruiting. I don't really see any yet, but I mean, they would be these guys right here. They do, yeah, that one is right there. It's gonna be a while. Maybe the Chinense, maybe if done correctly, the Chinense are a little faster. Here, finally, our 1.4 mil Scoville Viper. This is the biggest of the 2 Naga Vipers, the bigger of the 2. Not fruiting there. This other one looks like it is, though. It's quite the wilted flower. Don't want to pull off because it might be a little cold right now. It's actually pretty good, probably. One thing, of course, that I should have done, not only with my in-ground stuff, but these guys too, was mulch them. I could always, if I got some straw or something, hopefully seedless. I think straw is the seedless between that and hay. That is something that would be really good to put down for these peppers. If I were to keep them out, if I were to have some kind of structure that they could stay in for a bit. Yeah. So anyway, that's that. That's these peppers and whatever herbs are here, just a couple herbs. I'm going to be bringing all those other things out. I don't know where I'm going to put them. You see already we've lost the light right here. That's pretty unfortunate. Probably going to have to move these guys out to there where there's a little bit of space, and then maybe everything that's inside, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking I might just have to take it out to that open spot right out there where that potted grass is sticking up. I can lay them all, I can sit them all there because they're only going to be there a day and a half maybe, so they won't really get stuck to the ground, rooted to the ground. You don't want the roots growing through the bags. I actually had that start happening in some of these spots here because I just couldn't really get to them in time. Well, one of the bad ones there. Yeah, all the spots I had these bags, these small bags, that started happening. I'm just gonna shoot this real quick before we go check out. Also, quickly, the up and coming orchard. I don't know, you can't call it even an orchard or anything at this point. But just showing, we'll be uncovering this. I need to take a quick break, but I'm going to do that during it because I need to charge my phone again, of course. And then we'll come back and this will be uncovered. So just so you know, that will be happening. And we will also have to wait on the home garden. We'll look a little in depth at that, not too in depth. But for now, we're just going to take a quick gander over here. You know what we're going to see? A bunch of ripe strawberries, I guarantee. Have still really no desire to check out these apples. Eat these apples, that is. Try them. We really should, though. Should find a couple. We need to get the kids out of here to find a couple that are maybe edible. Maybe today they'll do that. And maybe today they'll come out and pick these strawberries. So I'm going to wait and not do that myself. They are here today and tomorrow, which may also be decent. But today is supposed to get into the 60s, as I said. See all our runners here on our massive strawberries. Look at all those crazy runners. These are our regular white flowered everbearings. Again, gonna leave the strawberries for now. Hopefully we'll be out before anything else gets it if the kids aren't. You see huge, massive strawberries still ripening. Oh boy, look at that thing. I'm taking this myself. This is mine. Come on. Oh boy. Having a good, there we go. Down the hatch, first, maybe only thing eating on video today. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3 Toscanas. Also everbearing, I think. And then we got our red flowered everbearing here. Not looking as good as the white flowered ones. Same as the Toscana, not looking as good. They're starting to perk up a little bit. This red everbearing, maybe it just looks a bit off because it has such long flower or fruiting stems on it, which is a great thing to have, of course. That means we're gonna have more strawberries. There's a nice one there. But yeah, I'm happy with the year 1 strawberry patch. Honestly, it worked out really well. Worked out pretty much just as well as the other intended market items did this year. And I didn't really intend this as one of the market items, just as the beginning of one of the market items, because I mean it would have been nice to sell a little bit of them. That's why I did do them, because of all the fruits. They're one of the only ones you can potentially get the first year a substantial harvest. We didn't really have a substantial harvest. Maybe we could have. Again, as everything else, it took a while to get these in the ground. I think I did catch these on one of my last videos, I'm pretty sure, before I lost the 2 months or so of footage. Might have been like 3 months, honestly. And it was the prime months, of course, of the year. So our seedless Concord grapes were looking decent, and I guess I forgot to mention last time that they got ravaged by Japanese beetles. I mentioned one of the videos, but not the one we actually looked at this. Ravaged by Japanese beetles, and started kind of coming back a little bit. You can see obviously they have some leaves, and then the Japanese beetles, I guess, died off or something. I guess maybe it held off. Didn't grow very much this first year. I don't know how much it was supposed to grow this year. My first year, at least. Has to be its second year at least of life, because I didn't grow all this woody growth is not from me. We bought it like that, so it was obviously already trimmed back once. Marigolds, those are definitely my handiwork. You see a bunch of marigolds I just noticed bunched up in there right next to it. They just become marigold patches. It'd be cool if we could get these things. Same thing happened to this Concord grape, seedless Concord. We did lose this marigold, but we did, I think, oh yeah, we have one tiny guy here. Maybe we'll get a couple, another one there, self-seeded. A couple more self-seeded on this side for next year. Can always just grab one of these. And it's not as dry as I would like. Is there a drier one? None that are very dry. Oh, this one right here. Here we go. Grab him. Pour this out right over here. Now that's not going to take this year. Well, no, it's not going to take this year. It's way too late for marigolds probably. I mean, they don't take all that long to grow, but don't know if it'll be big enough to do much. Yeah, so I guess we don't need to actually trim this pack. There's no reason to trim. There's nothing to trim. Might as well just let it grow. I mean, my grandma has massive grapevines. She's never trimmed them once, so, and they do great. So I guess it's going to be okay. Although she has wild blackberries now growing through hers, so we don't want that. We shouldn't have that. Maybe. We do have wild blackberries. They may randomly end up here, I guess. Walking backward, trying to avoid the wind, see these marigolds, seeing the end of their year. A lot of dead flowers up there, but that means a lot of flowers that have fallen down. A lot of seeds, that is, that have fallen down into the very weedy ring there. A little less bad looking than the grapes, I think, just because the tree's further off the ground. I'm gonna probably wrap these or something before the winter. I do actually have a wrap. I just don't know how effective it is, but if I don't get anything else, then I might as well just use that, do something. This tree's looking pretty good, all things considered. It only had one apple on it. Maybe that's why it ended up looking pretty decent. It actually had a decent amount of growth up here during the year, while this one was fruiting, and I should have just not let it do that. But I did. Marigolds are looking great. Not that that means anything really when the tree looks like this. It looked even worse though whenever all the apples were at the top of it. Weighing it down, partially may have been from the wind, but I think a lot of that was due to the apples, and it's unfortunate, but maybe, just maybe, I can fix that. There were like a dozen little apples on here though. The fact that it has like no leaves left anymore already worries me, since that one is still full of leaves. So that is definitely concerning. That's it for over here. Alright, I wanted to clean a little bit more up of this back area before I did this, but it is 3 o'clock already and I do need to kind of get this done. I'm kind of messing around with a lot of different stuff, but pretty much caught up to where I want to be, that is. I should show you though that we've now moved everything out. There's everything that was on the porch either out there. I mentioned I might move it around here, but I decided just going around the fire pit, and smaller herb, like I said, the herbs, smaller peppers as well up here on this. And I moved these over a little more to give all the peppers that were down there a little extra time in the light, because again, some of them were already losing it that were on the far end. And that's that, so they'll stay out for the remainder until tomorrow, actually probably Saturday, till Saturday afternoonish, or whatever time I get a chance between raining to get them in. Anyway, here in the home garden, we have, of course, as always, the front centerpiece, is our rhubarb, which of course at this point dies off at this point in the year. You usually only harvest that till about mid-June or whatever. And we're surrounding the rhubarb, that is our mustard, which was 2 varieties, but it was mostly one because we had 2 rings of it. The inner ring mostly didn't come up, but the outer ring was fine. And actually now at this point we can probably tell which is which if we look close enough. If we get all of the outer stuff first, then we should be able to tell which exactly is the old-fashioned. But we can also look out here and see this is all, I think, self-seeded. It looks like all self-seeded green wave. Over here is more self-seeded green wave until we hit this point, and then we got the old-fashioned. More ripply leaves like that. Green wave is more giant, and these stink bugs are constantly on my stuff. But the actual first sowing of the mustard obviously done now. We've still only gotten a little bit of it cut out, that is not much at all. It's like a little bit from this area. My goal, and this is what I wanted to do a little more of before I did this, was to get all of this out to open up these jalapenos that have been surrounded for a long time now. Hard to even see them in there, but they're in there. There's one that's much easier to see now. There's another one here. There it is. But again, it's very difficult to see because actually that's the top of, that's the top of a cayenne. So the jalapeno, I see a jalapeno right there and there. So that's it. I guess it just ends right about there. And then there's one here that's underneath that spiky guy. And then there's one here. Wait a second. Yeah, the one under the spiky guy there. And then this one I think is oh no, that might be the same one right here. And then there's, maybe. And then there's, but definitely this one by itself here. This is almost seemingly, so it was several of these jalapenos, all the ones that were not the Gen 2 Nature's Edge ones, were the cuttings that we had from the pepper brand experiment. So they were random, jalapenos from those 4 brands we had. And based on what the jalapenos for the pepper brand experiment proper look like, I'm led to believe this may have been a cutting of the sustainable sprout because they're very large. They're very large. And we're going to be able to grab a few more today, so that's cool. We also, nice lavender still here on the ends. We also have a bunch of cayenne to harvest, and I would like to do that before it gets dark out this time, so I can actually see what I'm doing a little better. Used a headlamp, but that is not much. Most of these Gen 2 Nature's Edge cayenne, except this fella on the end here, not sure what that guy is. There's our Marglobe that is done out here in the, this is our very first tomato. Oh, look at that. Oh boy. One more. Maybe. There's got another one up here too. I'm going to take that off, though. I don't know about that. And this is at some point, I think I'm going, because I'm going to just leave this in the ground. I think I'm going to chop it back like you would normally do to overwinter one of these guys. Chop it back to, I don't even know how much you would go. Maybe save the Y. Take that much off. Keep that. Take these 2 small ones off. Maybe keep a little bit of this one. I don't know. Maybe do something like that though. Here we got our basil. We never cut it back. So I guess I just, in that case, I'll let this one go to seed. See all this fallen basil down here. This fallen wasted basil. Well, again, I wonder if you could do something like just drying this, and it still smells really good. Dry it and still just use it for, like, I don't know if you use this for like some kind of incense or not, but it does smell really good. I don't know how it smells to burn it. And then you see how dark and brown, like spotted brown the leaves are getting. Oh, there goes that one. It's from the cold, of course, and they don't have any protection out here from the cold. That is, at least some elements they have protection from. The wind a bit, protection from the wind just in their location. But yeah, it'd be nice to maybe get some seeds off of these flower stalks here. Not a whole lot of flowering going on with them, so they may be a bit late to do that. Although they do have we do have a lot of flower stalks there. The basil does look nice. Again, it would be great if I could save most of it and maybe just chop it all down and dry it. Just dry it by the big stalks. That went in late, but it looks really fantastic. Back here we had of course we have our lettuce, which we kind of thinned out the dead ones. And maybe even do that again soon. I would like to let some of it attempt to self-seed. But again, I think it's going to be way too late now at this point for whatever does self-seed to do anything. Kind of needed it to already happen at this point. Then, of course, we had some beans and some peas back here. We don't really have much of either left. Maybe a couple peas that are still kind of overtaken by some of the lettuce. And then only a couple beans really, that is. Wow. Some kind of aphid or something maybe there. There's a big fat one, but that's a dry bean. I'm going to just leave that there. These are all, again, pretty much done. Ooh, wow, that's a big bean there. I do have all the beans. I never brought them in when I did this earlier. Sitting there still. Oh, there's a big pile of water. Sitting in a big pile of water, so they're not drying very well. All right. A little better for now. That's a little better for now until the puddle resumes there instead. But yeah, not a whole lot. I left like a bunch of the shrapnel, left a bunch of the remains of the beans in here still, because I just don't know what else I'm going to do with this spot. I'll just let it die off in here, just like a green mulch, I guess, or a green manure. Take that guy. Try not to take as much as I want, because that's what I didn't want to do, and I did it anyway. Yeah, so much for that one. This one ended up having some beans left on it. Decent. Not bad. Yeah, I don't know why. I can't remember now why I kept some of these. I guess just to see what they would do. Not that they're going to do anything. Nothing for them to do. Fat bean there. Alright, yeah, a couple more beans, but whatever. Some peas, but this is basically what we got with the peas. They're long. There's some other ones that are much longer. This one, I guess, isn't one of those. Do have something happening, though. Had a ton of beans this year, even though we planted them late and only a bit of them. We had just a load of them. Peas, not really. We had a few because they got overtaken by the Bib lettuce that fell down. The very tall Bib lettuce amongst the other tall lettuces we had. Zucchini are finally done, I think. Oh my goodness, there's more on it. There's more growing still. What is this? It's crazy. You're supposed to be done, you summer squash. It's not summer anymore. Again, trying to kill off a little bit more of the grass as we go. Doing that as long as possible into the year. And into the next year. One nice marigold, two nice marigold. I think we got everything covered except our celery. But before we do the celery, let's swing over here to our 3 California Wonder Bells that came in kind of late into the ground here, but not super duper duper late. They each had a decent looking bell on them, and because of that, they didn't get super big. And then those bells all ended up with like bite holes in them, chew holes in them. So I threw all of them out. So not only did it set back each of the plants trying to make those fruits, but the fruits didn't even come to fruition. So wasted all that energy for nothing. So that's why they are where they are, probably. And also because of the just late planting. But yeah, we do have just this one pretty much doing something there now. I have a couple little ones on this one too, but nothing to really get excited about. That's about it though. I really need to come out here and just start going crazy on this. Stepped on a bee, sorry sir. And go crazy on this mustard. Just get it out. Get all the seed. That's what I wanted the mustard for in the first place. So I want to get all that seed before I lose it. So our celery, looking nice. We still need to come out here and start chucking away some of these. Look at how big some of those are getting. We need to come out here and get them. Some of them started getting eaten. I think it was actually from this plant, but it's looking really nice now. Starting to look better, I should say. No, it's that one right there. That doesn't look nice. But yeah, and you got another one right here. It's overtaken by some of the mustard, but still doing decent. Another one in there. Again, I'd like to, there's a one down there too. Oh no, that might be the same one. Yeah, it is. Oh man, those are some chunky stalks. It lost one down below. But those are some nice stalks. I gotta probably harvest some of this today. I also want to point out this guy here. I'm trying to think if this was maybe where I had the initial row of celery, because I did do those like really early celery. And let's see, the onions would have maybe been around here, so I don't know, it's so hard to remember at this point, but there's definitely a random piece of celery out of place here. Not sure what this guy's about here, but it's a little celery for sure. It's definitely celery. Yeah, well, there's a little one in there. There's a couple little ones down there. I did put them pretty close together. Anyway, that's that for this home garden. All right, we are back here in the quote-unquote market garden section of the yard. Stick around till the end if you're interested in maybe some, I'm going to talk a bit about some future plans. Maybe you're interested in something like that. Some future big plans, potentially. I'd like input, that we'll be getting input, not just necessarily immediately right now, but we'll be getting input on that through the winter probably. Anywho, we'll just go to, for now, we're going to go over this. This is our last bit, the market garden bit. Marigolds and the ends of our cucumber patch, which is now overgrown. Actually just sowed, but I pulled out the peanuts in one of those grow bags over there by the wall and sowed a bunch of white Dutch clover in there because I want to see how fast it'll germinate. In fact, I should probably just do it here anyway, just because, whatever, because I have a ton. I should have enough to, if I weed this, to cover it pretty easily. I mean, I know I do. I just don't want to use too much for no reason if it does end up being too late in the year right now to do it. But I want to see if I can end up just covering this in clover, just to kind of demarcate where it is and regenerate it a bit for next year. But yeah, the cucumbers, they didn't actually do too well. I don't know if I touched on this last video, last large update, trying to recap the 3 months of lost footage. It was a few. We actually made some quick pickles. They were really good. Ate several of them, but I was definitely not impressed with the cucumber harvest at all. I was even less impressed with the melon harvest, which was none. Got 2 cantaloupe in the back and 2 in the front. The 2 in the back are just gone now. Oh, I can kind of maybe see it dead. These are not doing any better. Well, this one is, I guess, like visible at least. I think the cantaloupe, out of the cantaloupe, watermelon, and honeydew, I think they're supposed to be the fastest. I'm going to go quickly. These are all the watermelon. I'm going to quickly go to the honeydew here on this side. Doing just as bad. Did have that one and another one I did by seed. I don't know where the other one, which one it is. But then I had a couple that were transplants, like most of the other things. It was those 2 that were by seed, I guess. This melon, I mean, it's actually still pretty solid. This is the rest of this plant, so it's not doing great. But we do have a melon, and we might just have to pick that guy. There's a little bee. Hello, little bee. I don't know what in the world this thing is. Got our watermelon mostly. Well, there were more crimson sweet that were all in the front. There's one here. There's a sugar baby, one of two that I think are left here. It's actually looking one of the nicest. And I think actually, yeah, last time we were out here, it had a couple female flowers. I highly doubt they did or will do anything, but I mean, it's nice to see how well they may have done if, again, it was in the proper time. That is why it's looking like it is. And I think this would have worked really nicely, trellising them up our fence here. It's a really good use of fence, in my opinion. Should use it for something. I did also mean to actually have sunflowers lining the back. I never got to it, but it's okay because it wouldn't have been any sunflowers that were really that great anyway. Next year, though, that is one of, maybe I'll touch on this if I remember at the end of the video, a couple things that I do want to get into actually doing a few different varieties of next year, and sunflowers are one of them. Lastly here, I'm just going to mention these little marigolds that we had self-seed. Didn't even plant these guys in the ground. I guess maybe I still could. But I don't necessarily need to because they did an okay job. Just dropping seeds. We have a decent bit. They'll be much better even next year, as long as they hold out. Drop some seed, and the seed holds out. Really, that's what it comes down to. If not, we'll just have to redo all our marigold patches. But I'm kind of hoping I don't have to do that. Hello, Blue Jay again. Yes, sir, I opened up your food. Are you happy? I don't know where he is, but he's over there somewhere. Up there somewhere. Oh, is that him at the very... It is. He is at the very top of that pine. Hello, sir. I see you up there. Hello. Wow. Prima donna. Oh, I see how it is. Where are you going? Okay, whatever. Oh, there's another one over there, huh? Alright, anyway. Back to what we were doing. I will go first to the tomatoes. You see now our patch is uncovered. Looking pretty much like they did last time, I'd say. Not a whole lot of difference. I am seeing it's a bit easier to navigate these back two rows here. These two that are together, connected, like next to each other, I should say. 2 and then 4, 2, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and then 5, 6 rows. There were paths between the two, the middle two, and then the end two. Now they're gone. I do want to mention before I get into the tomatoes, and I should have cut this big root out while I was here, but I was back here giving a little bit of a trim to the surrounding area. Got one tree there, one little tree that is down. Got 3 little trees there, and there's 2 of them laying there. And there was another, I thought. Oh, I cut a decent sized branch off of the side of this guy, because he's probably going to come out too eventually. So I just wanted to open up more area for myself. And I thought, yeah, there's the other one. That was a decent sized one. There's the second part of the trunk there. I whacked off just to make it a little shorter. But that's a nice little log there. Some of those are nice little logs for a time. You know, if I can use that wood, I wouldn't mind it for purposes other than composting. But yeah, so it looks much more open. I won't be hitting, namely this tree. That was actually one of the worst ones right there. Hitting my back on it all the time. It's just kind of a nuisance more than anything. These trees kind of also were, I mean, they were kind of crowding things in here while the tomatoes climbed their way into the weeds here, like this guy. I would really like to get these weeds out too. You notice that these weeds are sideways. That's not from me doing anything with the trees. It's not from me doing anything at all. And neither is any of that seems different in there. That, we believe, is the favorite area of some deer for quite a while now. I think they chill back there at night. And yeah, it's kind of cool. And I noticed that I mentioned that in the past that, because I mentioned that all this grass is pretty much only found here, and that's one of the reasons we think that is, or the reason we think that is. I would also like to maybe cut out some of these other small trees, but that wouldn't be until we, of course, clear out more of these weeds. But yeah, the goal would actually be to extend all of this a bit more. The open yard area. Pretty much everything we can up until the bigger trees like this guy. I did say he was coming out, so he's probably going to come out. There are some bigger ones in there. Maybe not necessary to take those out. But again, I did mention in past videos, this is just one of 2 spots that have a really nice view, so it wouldn't be the worst thing to open this up for good permanently and put a nice bench right back there. And let me take you up into the air a bit here. There you see what would be the beautiful view we have of a nice decent sized pond back there, nearing size of a very, very tiny lake almost. Yeah, and I think it would just be great to get right between those pines and just have a nice sit. And you know what? Because if we did that, we could also make this a beautiful garden path that eventually leads back to where I'm standing here in the market garden. And of course, one of the main things, if we have enough warmish days this late fall into early winter, and I can get out here and just screw around with some stuff, some other things, I really want to motivate myself to come out here and do a lot of the more just landscaping work. It's actually what I'm much more familiar with, in my opinion, much easier than gardening. Gardening takes a lot more skill, but landscaping can be a very, very intricate skill set in itself if you want it to be. But then there's also, more just basic landscaping, which is really what we need to do in this place. The more basic stuff, some of the more manual labor or tedious stuff no one really cares to do, but we're just gonna start having to hack away at some of this stuff, and really, and this is one of the things, and I guess I'm getting into it early here, really starting to draw up what we envision this back area being now that we have it started, we have it somewhat complete. I mean, we had the bare necessities, you could say, right now. That's what we're at. But I think next year, as we try to clean up the actual gardens themselves, we want to at least have an idea and start working toward getting the surrounding area cleaned up as well. So we have some nicer paths, walkable paths at least. If they're not nice necessarily, something walkable. So this place is accessible. Walkable paths through the gardens this time. We're actually going to be trellising if we end up with things that need trellised in this area. We will be trellising. We'll be trellising pretty much everything we can, or should, I think. And maybe trying to avoid trellising beans if we can, which we probably didn't need to over there when we just did them. They were probably okay because they were bush style. I'm pretty sure that's what I planted. Anyway, yeah, I'm just still envisioning the beautiful garden path here. This would be another thing. So we would have to have something that would go directly from there, and I think come straight down through here. And basically the path would be where you see the row cover sitting right now. And of course that would be another thing to not necessarily upgrade, because I don't mind. This is decent row cover. We just need to upgrade how we actually put it up. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about tomatoes. Again, got an amazing harvest this year from these guys. If I put them in the right time, and I was out here collecting more often, and we used them before it started to get too late and they started to go bad, the amount would have been quite substantial indeed. And we would have probably been selling them, because if we would have been giving all of them away, that would have been done somehow, and there would have been, again, if it was also early enough, there would have been so many, we would have probably needed to sell them. There would be no other way, unless we just wanted to give literally a buttload of tomatoes away for free, which that would be strange, because that wasn't my goal. The reason it ended up being what happened was because I didn't really have quite enough. I mean, I guess, again, I could have sold some if I really wanted to. But I was just happy to supply those around me with some free stuff. My more immediate family, my sister, my parents, my grandmother, and then my priest, a couple other close friends in the parish. And so I was able to, just give it all away. Give everything we didn't really need to use away. It was still good. A decent amount, as I expected, tomatoes out here still. And also, as kind of expected, got some pest issues still continuing. Again, expected. Along this guy, this Napa grape is just a monster. This would be one I wouldn't mind trying to cut back a bit and seeing if it will overwinter, just because maybe it's just such a beast that it'll do it even in the freezing cold. And I mean the freezing cold, because it might get, I mean, we've probably had 20 below before, even though average is not quite that bad. Maybe 10, maybe, I don't know. I can't remember what's the, it is a range, 15 to 10 Fahrenheit for 5B. That's where I am, 5B, I'm pretty sure. Which sucks, because as I said in a different video, if we would be a half hour south, I'd be in 6A, and if I was an hour and a half southeast or west, I would be in 6B. 10-degree difference. Warmer. Crazy. But yeah, I'd say honestly, on average, we are probably normally closer to 5. I mean 10. And we're talking extremes, not like just average temperatures during the winter. If we're talking average temperatures during the winter, honestly, it's been getting kind of mild sometimes, that you could make a case that we are almost a whole 5 degrees warmer average. So I don't know, maybe talking, dang, we lost a lot. I'm surprised how many of these we lost to. I'm not even sure what's happening to them. Lost more than I expected. Of the Napa grapes, certainly. Usually don't lose any of those. So it's surprising, that one, those. I mean, we lose a few, but definitely not when they're not even quite ripe the whole way yet. Ripe enough to eat, certainly. Yeah, we're going to have a decent little harvest. Someone new did ask me, actually, if I was, they said that they heard I had vegetables for sale. So that was kind of cool, but I said yes, actually. Told her I would have more cherry tomatoes today, which I do. And that I had some hot peppers, a variety of them, many cayenne. She did not get back to me, but I'm probably just gonna go take her a couple different hot peppers at least, and just say, hey, whichever ones you think you can handle, you can have. I was talking again earlier just a bit about, yeah, didn't sell, but another nice thing I think about that, I mentioned in an earlier video, is that it does give me just a bit of a chance to get my product out there. First year grow product, let people get a chance. And again, I'm just giving and will be selling to very much local people that are not like even really out to companies or anything. So allowing them just to get a taste of what I'm doing year one for free seems like a decent marketing scheme. It might take a bit of money at first, initially, I guess. But you know what? I think that because of the way I did it, I saved quite a bit of money. I didn't really use much at all, considering what I think I was able to accomplish, and considering what I could have accomplished based on what I did do and didn't do and could have done. But man, speaking of those deer, they're probably loving all those tomatoes I've been throwing out there. But yeah, again, I think I ended up breaking into the food bill a decent bit with what I ended up getting. And again, as I mentioned in a previous video, if we planned a bit around the produce that I had, we would have probably been able to save even more. Yeah, we are just gonna, keep on harvesting here. I'll be back in a bit. I do want to touch on, though, quickly as I go through all this. Look at all these beautiful tomatoes that are fruiting, ripening all over the place. I mean, they are still loaded. But what I also wanted to point out, other than that, was the nice size, the nice look of these other two doubled up rows of tomatoes. The ones that that are still looking decent of the 6. I mean, the two in the very first 2 rows put in are still producing well. They're just on their way out right now, I think. But these guys they still look like they got a couple weeks in them. If I can do this right and the weather permits, I don't think I can manage I might be able to manage a 32-degree night, but that would be the bare. That might be the maximum. If I, like I said, could somehow before then sew together my row cover so it's properly connected, then just maybe it would retain heat a little better and I could manage a couple more degrees colder. It's possible. It would be much better use of the row cover. It would also make the future row covering much easier. And I think, I did give myself enough to kind of mess around with the size of the patches, but I will probably attempt to get around the same size of patches for the next peppers and tomatoes, because they, again, will be in a different patch. They'll need to be rotated next year. These will be, I don't know what they'll be, beans and peas. One will be beans and peas, and one will be rye and wheat, winter rye and winter wheat. I don't know. Probably too late for, I don't know what I'm thinking. Maybe, I guess we can do spring rye and spring wheat. I don't know if it's like a different type of crop or not, but then, yeah, so it'll be something in the spring throughout the year, regenerating-ish the soil. I guess for the wheat and the rye, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily regenerate the soil. I don't know if it's a low feeder or a high feeding crop. But we can also always use it, always put something else down after it's done, as a green manure, and I think, or a green, green manure. And I think we would do that with the clover, as I said I'm going to do here. So that would be a good plan. Now I'm kind of just thinking out loud here with you guys, Yeah, I think that's a decent plan. If we end up actually doing one of these with spring wheat and rye, like a mixture type deal, maybe do a mixture. That might be really difficult to harvest. Um, then yeah, we can just do legumes afterward, and then since it's clover, then it'll actually die off and regenerate the soil over winter. We won't really have to do anything. We'll just chop it back in the spring, whatever's there. Work it, maybe work it into the soil like that, and be on our merry way with a new patch ready to go for then what would be tomatoes. Well, I mean, I guess, well, or tomatoes or peppers, whichever patch I put it in, because again, we'll be back to doing tomatoes and peppers here in 2 years. Next year, it'll be somewhere else. The year after, it'll be back here. And of course, we have to do that because we only have one planting season here. So one season equals 1 year for us. Sad face. I did. It's 5/11ths if you break it down into like early, mid, and late months. It's like 5/11ths of the year is what we have to plant, and not even half the year. Sucks. Well, we can plant longer than that. I guess I really just mean we have that much time between our frost dates is really all I mean. I'm going to work it so that we can not only, I mean, if I do it properly, hey, the sun's out a little bit. If I do it properly, not only will I have like just some crops, something growing most of the year, but once we get some kind of greenhouse fixture somewhere, then we'll also have that to extend our season a bit. I wanted to show one more quick thing before we end up just harvesting the rest, and then I'll show you what we get. Here, in these rows, most of what I have left are going to be grape types. But look at these monsters in here. Oh my goodness. This is getting picked because it started ripening, and that means that something else will come try to get it before me. Has some kind of spot on it. I don't like the look of that, but I love the look of that. I have a relatively large hand. That is a large tomato. It's a good 4-inch diameter tomato. Ah, no. What is that? Why did that happen? Anyone know what that's about? That sucks. It's one big nice one. This one's still okay here. This one is okay, and it has a little bit of yellow on it. It's getting picked too. I don't want anything to happen to this one. So 2 massive tomatoes. Got a couple small guys here. I guess they're good enough. Only small little rips in them there. Take all of them. I don't care anymore. Taking them all. Nothing else. We can have them. They're mine. But that's it. Just wanted to show you those massive tomatoes. Got a couple other nice pastes on the other side there. Okay, I think we got them all. They do look very unripe. They may look very unripe. There are some that are definitely more ripe than others. It's not the best looking one, but I think Sydney might be okay for her. But yeah, they're all, most of them, if they didn't start ripening, it's because they already fell off and I just took them. But most of them had at least like a tint of a different color, and usually that's all it needs, and they will ripen the whole way, and they'll stay good until that happens. So it's fine. Got more that we can probably even pick tomorrow before we have to cover them again, or maybe Saturday. But let's get into the peppers and finish this thing off. So here again, the overview of our patch. I'm gonna go back up here and start as we normally do. You see everything is very sideways again, probably worse than it was before. Some of it just because of the ground cover laying on top of it. Again, we have our little habanero corner up here. I think it is yellow, red, which have 2 each, and then that white one there. But again, those aren't going to do anything. Very tiny. Got our in this first row, all pepperoncinis. This one got eaten. That one, not looking good. Not looking good. Those were already small to begin with. This is another of the small, the only one really doing anything now. Actually, looks like that might be fruiting slowly. ripening, that is. Nice, decent sized one. Not nice, but decent there. Decent one there. Not going to have a whole lot of pepperoncinis this year. We're going to probably do a lot of these. We're going to probably do a lot of all the very, very, very mild ones next year, because I guess it's going to be easier for people to eat those, I suppose. But we're also going to be doing a bunch of the super hots still. Don't worry. Oh, I thought I broke that, but I just knocked it onto the other side of that leaf bundle, I guess, or something. But yeah, not terrible, I guess. There's gonna be a few, if they can survive the frost, the very light frost. Got our California Wonders up here, bell peppers. 4, 5, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them. I did pick a couple off of these. Actually, I might have picked one off of each. Or maybe I just got 3. But they were pretty good, so I'm happy about that. They were nice. Basically done now. All these things are going to die off this year, so you know, what are you going to do? It's what you get when you plant hot weather, warm weather stuff in cold climates. You can at least get them, but they're not going to overwinter for you. That is not what I want to see. Should I pluck this? Should I pick it off? Or, you know what I mean? Like, is it just done? Or let it go? Pick it off and eat it? Let's pick it off and eat it, maybe. Cut it up at least. It's too bad because it doesn't look like it's begun to ripen at all. But still edible. Maybe this will be the Jimmy Nardello that we taste first. That's what these are, of course. I guess maybe I didn't say that. Jimmy Nardello's here, which we pulled several off from the back here already. More on the way for sure. Those two are looking quite nice there. These the slightly bigger plants. A couple more there that look like they're going to come off soon. Tiny guy. And other ones that were small but actually not bad. These two at least. The other one was. These are not the worst. It's actually looking a little light, but I don't know if that's from ripening or not. Might just be. I think I saw some other ones that were like this. Yeah, has like a weird white tip to it there, or base. The base. Wow, I didn't notice that one. That's a pretty nice size one there for how small as the plant is. We did have one on this plant, didn't we? Because there was one that was bigger than the plant. There's the root piece of it, stem. So that's all the milds. Up here, we do actually have the this little line here as well, which didn't do anything of bells. I'm not going to do anything. Maybe. Oh, there's. Yeah, that doesn't look. That's not great. Yeah, as you turn it over, it just gets worse. Yeah, I think that was the only one growing. So probably done. Not gonna see anything from those. Whatever. Again, I just threw random seeds that I got from the store-bought pepper in there, so I was just surprised that they did anything at all. Here we got our shishitos first. Nothing crazy. Oh wait, there it is. Thought there was some on here. There's the nice one. Not ripening yet. Another shishito. Here's a decent size one. Again, not ripening yet. It's really what we're waiting for, obviously. This is where we took one of the Santa Fe Grandes, our very first Santa Fe Grande, which actually had a little bit of spice to it. I was happy for the what is supposed to be 500 to 700 Scoville heat units pepper. With a little bit of a tingle to it. One that I would like to get another one of so I can make people try it and say, listen, it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit. Not as bad as the one I made you try last time. Trust me. These are looking really nice in here. Okay. Oh, that one looks like it's starting to turn a little bit. It's also starting to cork a little bit. Looking good. Looking good. And then we move to our 3 Cubanelles, which the Cubanelle we have in the pot is doing not well at all. This one, that's a nice looking one right there. They look a lot like pepperoncinis, kind of like shishitos, but they are a tad spicier than those. This one got ravaged. It was set back for a bit, and I was actually kind of okay with that because it was nice and bushy still. It was growing really well, and then it lost like an entire prong there. So, and that was relatively late. Now it's just done. Too late for it now. This is by far the biggest Cubanelle we have, pepper wise at least. And surely that thing will soon be ripening. Ooh, what is that? And we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. Pick it if nothing's gonna happen with that. Let it redistribute energy to where it's needed somewhere else better. Up here we got our Hungarian blacks, looking horribly sideways. The peppers are not bad. A little on the small side maybe. I haven't really had any Hungarian blacks bigger than that though, so maybe they don't get all that big. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these did actually start ripening soon. They seem to be quick ripeners. And again, these are the ones I like to push on people because they are sweet. I haven't had any that were actually mild at all, even though they can apparently be like from 100 or 200 to 2500. I haven't had anything that even tasted like spice. Maybe some other people tasted a very small hint, maybe, but I don't even know if someone else did. These are my Numex Big Jims. Looking better than the one in the pot that's very light and kind of losing foliage. These are actually a decent green color, but not really doing anything. That's the problem. The one in the pot actually has a fruit started on it. These guys do not. They're very slow peppers, especially compared to the ones right next to them, those Hungarian blacks. On this side we got our 3 poblanos. This one not producing a whole lot, very long, got bent. A little less long here, got a little less, well actually probably just as much bent. And also not producing anything. This one here does, oh I thought it actually had something, but it doesn't either. 3 long poblanos that didn't produce anything, but again, we have the 2 older ones that are in the pots that are actually coming with round 2 now. Round 1 was just 1 pepper each, but round 2 is looking nicer. And we do also have that really late blooming poblano still in a small pot. Maybe we can get a couple peppers off of that too. And then finally here, our Anaheim chilies, like our other potted ones, same age as those poblanos. These obviously doing much better than the poblanos here in the ground though. Anaheim chili in the pot also though, as we saw, has another batch of chilies coming. This is still by far the biggest Anaheim chili we got, looking massive. Can't wait for that to come out. These are the ones that I had people try, and I sincerely thought that they wouldn't be that bad. I thought they'd be able to handle them okay, but I was mistaken. So we'll stick with for now we will stick with well, if we had some big Jims, maybe some big Jims, but maybe, you know, the Cubanelles, the Shishitos when they're up, the pepperoncinis when they're up, the Hungarian blacks. Really lame, huh? It's like none of the fun peppers at all. We'll have to get some more mildish varieties so we can experiment with some other mild ones. Here we got our cherry bombs. They are pretty bomb. This one doesn't look like the other cherry bombs, even though they all came from the same pack of seeds. And all the other cherry bombs look like cherry bombs. That one looks like it's ready to come off. Tempted to pick it. That one could probably also come off, that little guy. These little things all had theirs come off really, so they're pretty much done now. These are all cherry bombs. There were 2 batches of them that I did. The first batch, the small ones, they were very stunted, very late coming out. I just took so long getting them out. Here we have the rest of these are Serrano, 7 of them. Some of them looking quite nice. We haven't had much luck with serranos so far. Mostly my fault. But these are kind of promising if they can survive. There's a couple on here. It's supposed to be 10 to 23,000 Scoville heat units. So pretty hot. From a little over the hottest jalapeno to a little under the hottest or the mildest cayenne. I don't know what that is. Little bee guy? Must be. What's the flower? You want the flower? Oh wait, what you doing? You don't want to. Do you even want the flower? I just poked him right in the face. Look how he's trying to fight me. He's trying to fight me. He's trying to fight me. Oh my goodness. Dude, this isn't a fair fight. Back off. I don't know what's up with that. That's weird. Okay, anyway. Over here, we got our hot banana peppers. Oh, I just kicked that cherry bomb right in the face. Sorry. Cherry bombs. I mean, Hungarian hot wax. Looking quite nice. This one not as nice, but these are looking pretty nice here. Nice wax peppers. Some of them look like they could be pulled, but I keep getting it wrong, and they're not actually ripening yet. They should go to a different color. I'm pretty sure they should work the same as banana peppers, but I do actually still have one. I did my pepper eating test. The next day I ate almost all the rest of the peppers except the rest of my hot wax, just because I felt like I was just gonna have that as a snack later. And I also didn't eat the rest of the habanero because it was super hot. Here, these weird shaped Aleppos, and then we have two more Aleppo plants that have more normal shaped chilies. I mean, that one's not actually very normal shaped, but more normal Aleppo shaped. This one is, I don't even know what to say about that. This one has somewhat normal Aleppos. They're very long Aleppos though, longer than the ones I had before in the pot, which did quite well. And here we have Hinkle Hots next to Hinkle Hots. And I'm just going to assume that there are none done yet. Some of them look like they're coming close to the end. Of course, I could be wrong. Could be very mistaken. Same with these. Oh, just ripped a flower off the top. Same with these Bailey Peckin, though. I really want to just pull one of these, maybe that one, and test it finally. See how it's getting a little lighter purple now? Maybe that means it's ripening. I want to pull it. Two of those, just like the two Hinkle Hots, and finally at the end here, two Ahi lemons. Lemon drops, the only capsicum baccatum species I got, and still, I came out for a sneak peek earlier and I was looking at these, still no ripening ones, but a decently sized one there. And we saw both of these, decently sized one there, the biggest one there probably of all the three, the one potted and these two. Not ripening yet though, I'm assuming they go yellow. They are called Ahi lemons. Anyway. Another one growing there. It's looking good. I'm very excited to see how these do as the weather drops compared to the other ones, seeing as they're the only baccatum species peppers we got. Now I'm going to head past as always, past all these habaneros, go back to those up here because I ran out of space. I put the next line in the hotness, which is our Thai chilies, Thai peppers. Dark green, certainly the color they are. Peppers, light green is like the very tiny guys, and the dark green, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, they go red as well. So the Thais, these actually aren't as good. They don't look as nice and big and bushy as the one in the pot. That, of course, will have the advantage of actually coming indoors with us to finish its fruiting. and probably also be overwintered if I'm lucky. Got nothing growing on these Charleston Hots, 3 Charleston Hots here. So the one in the pot's definitely beaten out this as well. Not happy with how this back line is doing here, the backfield, the outfield, ties and the Charleston Hots. Not so good. Now we have a lot of habaneros. I'm gonna do so we have these, check these out real quick, these jalapenos that didn't work out so well later in my pepper brand experiment. I think I just ended up pulling whatever was growing on this one. Honestly worked out decently. The plant itself didn't have time to do anything though. These cayenne as well were late ones, these 3 cayenne. One up here, which actually has peppers that might be ripening soon. This one is, well, it might not be ripening soon, but there's definitely peppers there. I don't know where that was from, but it sounded awful close. And then one more cayenne here, which has 1 pepper, but yeah, should at least come off. Okay, anyway, and then we get to our habaneros. There's 3 of these as well from the later pepper brand experiment. I can't remember what these 2 are. It's a leaf. Can't remember what this one is and what this small one is, but I know that this last one is a Rebel Gardens, which was looking the best, but these 3 aren't going to have a chance to do anything. I'll just say right now, most of these habaneros and whatnot aren't probably going to have a chance to do anything in the ground here. We have 2 from the yogurt containers here. That's a match to the one that's growing in the pot. You can see leaves falling off these like nuts. That seems to be what happens with, if not just habaneros, maybe all the Chinense species peppers. Oh, look at this though. We actually have a couple. This might also be Rebel Gardens now that I think about it. I think it is. And it is definitely. Got something on there. Now we get, these are just, I think all Nature's Edge orange habaneros. There's 3 of these. Again, nothing that I see other than that aphid. Nice. You get aphids this late, really, in the year. I thought that was an early season thing. Maybe it's both early and late. Another one doesn't look good, and a third one that doesn't look good. Leaves falling off all over the place. Then we move to our colored ones. This is 2 white habaneros, which also look terrible. Luckily, the one in the pot looks okay. This looks like it's been eaten a little bit. Maybe it's just dying back on the ends, on the tips. This one looks even worse. White habanero struggled a lot. And then we have 3 reds down here, which, again, the one in the pot's not great, but looking better than these, since these are just looking horrendous at this point. Just way too late for them, I guess, in the year. I didn't abide by the rules close enough. If I was a little closer, but, you know, things happen sometimes. Next year, guys, next year. There's 6 flowers right here. That's awesome. A red habanero, another red habanero there. And yeah, then we went to the yellows, put them up here toward the oranges, milds next to the mild, more mild next to the more mild, hotter next to the hotter. This yellow has nothing. It has flowers, that's it. See, it has a big stocky stalk, one big stocky stalk, and then finally branched off. Same here. And you're really not going to see flowers, from my experience, until that 2-prong starts. So yeah, we can tell pretty easily that there's nothing growing on these yellows. There's actually 4 yellow habaneros. This is the last one here. Nothing though on any of them. So even though the yellow habanero in the bag isn't really that great, it's better than these, I guess. Finally, 3 ghost peppers. There's one in the black pot that matches these guys. Started in the seed starting units, the 12 unit seed starting units. And again, nothing on these ghost peppers. Well, that's okay, because we have enough ghost peppers potted up that we'll have plenty of those, more than we probably need. But we shall make some sauces and some powders and some other spices and it'll be great. And nobody will eat them because they will burn their faces off. Anyway, pepper brand experiment time. Let's just go quickly. I'm not going to actually pick anything, but you'll know which ones I pick. I'll point out the ones I'll come back for in either today or later today or tomorrow. Did I show the cayenne that are growing over in the... I did, right? Well, if I didn't, there was just still a crap load of cayenne growing in the home garden on the side over there. Just so you know. Nature's Edge 3-2, nothing looking there for the jalapeno. Sustainable Sprout 3-2. Would be surprised if there's none here to get. Get out of here, aphid. But it doesn't look like there are any on this one. I mean, we might have other Sustainable Sprouts, but yeah, I really thought that there'd be another ripe by now. Could probably pick that one if we want. It's really the only one that has any ripening to it, it looks like. Great peppers though. Serenity, smaller peppers, but they are there chilling. We'll actually still don't see anything ripening. See a big old black spot on that one. Never know about that. Never know what that's really about. And then Rebel Gardens, not a bad one here, but I don't think there's any currently. I think we might have taken a couple off of this 3-2 Rebel Gardens, but yeah, not right now. We have the Nature's Edge 3-9 that was cutwormed, looking good. Nothing ready yet. Sustainable Sprout 3-9, which was actually I thought had the most, but maybe only a couple came off of this. The most was still probably 3-2 for the jalapenos. Serenity, still not doing anything, but still some better, maybe even some bigger peppers on here than the last one, perhaps. Rebel Gardens also cutworm 3-9. Love how beautiful these peppers are looking. It's actually probably the best Rebel Garden, maybe the best Rebel Gardens. It's just easier to see, perhaps. Then we go 3-16 Nature's Edge. Still doesn't look like there's anything on here. Wow. This is kind of loaded, so that's cool. But maybe down here, and maybe some of these tomorrow. If I come out tomorrow, a couple of these I'll probably just end up taking because they'll be a day further along. Not seeing much though. Sustainable Sprout. Also some decent sized peppers, but again, I think out of the 3 Sustainable Sprout jalapenos, this has the smallest fruits. Still nice size though. None ripening, however, yet. Serenity. A nice Serenity. They've all been decent. They've all been pretty good. Cannot complain. Look nice. The peppers aren't huge, but the plants look nice enough. Definitely would look even nicer if they were trellised properly, or even just staked a bit. I'm still not too sure about this guy that had several gnarly looking peppers come off of it. They actually don't look completely terrible still. I meant to pickle them a long time ago. I still haven't, so maybe they're still okay and maybe I can still pickle them. Maybe that means that all these are going to be all right too, which means this Rebel Gardens actually has done pretty well. Although the reason I picked most of them was because I wasn't sure about them, not because they were ready. Anyway, moving along. I'm running out of energy. I'm running out of sun. Here, the cayenne, 3-2 Nature's Edge. Don't see any red or any hint of anything going on here. Look at that cayenne there. Completely doing a complete 180 right off the bat. It's hard to see. There it is. Destroying the plant to show you that. Look at this. Oh, that's right. Serenity 3-2 because there's no Sustainable Sprout. Serenity, the best cayennes for our experiment. Rebel Garden, Many cayenne came off. Most of these plants had cayenne, several cayenne come off at this point. This one will have more coming off. Several more coming off. I might. If I can get them easy enough. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Not. There we go. Big chunk of dirt. Just gonna have to remember these are Rebel Gardens. And oh, I got a leaf. That's alright, I guess. Rebel Gardens. I think it's all good. A little dirty, but it's good. I'll grab this one too. Might as well at this point. And any others I might see. There's an orange tipped one here, but that is this Nature's Edge 3.9. That one may have had the most peppers come off. The Nature's Edge 3.9. Nature's Edge in general, I think, has the most. But the Serenaseed size means that I would say it's definitely, if we want to go by like weight, by mass, it's definitely the. Sorry, there's another one. Other of these are Rebel Gardens. Okay, I got a hold of it. I'd love to find the. There it is. The base. There we go. Probably the wrong one. Oh, I think we got it. Got all our other peppers stuck in the process. There it is. Haha. Success. They don't look great because they're so dirty, but they're all right. They're all right. Thought maybe there was another one. We have a ton of cayenne. Definitely gonna see if my friend wants some of these, because they do eat hot peppers. She and her family use them, at least. Maybe not eat them raw, but they use them. There's another one. I'll take that too, I guess. Starting to turn. Nature's Edge 3.9 looks pretty good. Already has a couple more coming up. This is the first sustainable sprout 3.9 here, and it has one. It has had a few also come off of it. That's the only one I see right now, though. Not the most substantial plant for sure. Another Serenaseed. This one had several come off already. I think this was the furthest along. Again, massive plant, massive peppers. Rebel Gardens, again, we might as well pick these two, because again, Rebel Gardens. Have one of them out of the way at least. That is a ripened pepper. And this is me. Come on, come on. Oh man, I thought I got a lot more than I bargained for there, but I'm alright. It's alright. Got it. Got a couple over here. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's not good. That was much more than I bargained for. How in the world? How am I going to explain that one? Alright, let's try to do a better job here. They say, oh yeah, you know, it's so easy just to pick it right off whenever they're ripening. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Till I break my whole plant. It's alright, you know, I don't know if, like, maybe once you can deal with the pests and you're not worried about them at all, you just leave these go till you're ready to grab them all, I suppose. But I can't do that because I've just had too many pest issues. Tired of losing plants, losing stuff, that is. Not necessarily, well, the plants, sure, but definitely the produce from them. Come on there. Two more. And maybe that was it. Nice little haul of the I'm gonna do something since I goofed this up, and I'll take this one too. Oh man, there's one more in there. That's okay. Grabbed it easy. I want to. Oh, that is barely. Okay, since I did goof this up and I grabbed these little guys, I guess I'm gonna have to eat this very, very tiny one right now, huh? Is this even gonna taste? And this is probably gonna taste horrible. Let's see what the spice is like, though. I deserve this. This is my penance. Oh well. Oh, it tastes disgusting. Tastes like a very unripe pepper, believe it or not. Doesn't really have any spice to it. Has like a hint, but there's just not enough time for any capsaicin probably to build up. This Nature's Edge looking nice. I lost a pepper there. That sucks. Hopefully not losing any more of these guys. Those two look okay. All right, 2 more on that 316 Nature's Edge, 316 Sustainable Sprout. I see one in there. It's a decent size. It's ripening. Another one right there, ripening. Cool. It's just Serenity 316, looking fantastic. I don't know how many have come up with this one, if any, yet, though. But that's okay. It's the latest. And there is no Rebel Gardens. We lost that 316. Finally here. Let me just run these Rebel Garden Cayenne over to my bin. There's that. Okay, finally we get to the end here. The habaneros, the orange habaneros, the classic Nature's Edge 332. You see some nice looking peppers down here, eh? Not really worried about things eating these. I mean, maybe slugs, but I think, you know, I have a feeling they would just kill a slug. So odd. Sustainable sprout, not sustaining itself very well here as the leaf falls off. Again, the habaneros will tend to do that faster than the other peppers, I think, the Genen's varieties. Even worse, the Serenity from 3.2 here. Look at that giant hole in here. Talk about aerating the soil. Getting oxygen down there. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Oh wait, this is not the Rebel Gardens. That would have been insane. But it is still the Nature's Edge 3.9 first habanero to come off of here. Look at how nice and ripe that thing is. It's almost completely orange now. Oh, and it's like a bite-sized habanero. Oh man, that's tantalizing. I'm gonna hurt myself with that. And I just knocked off that nice big flower of this Charleston Hot. That sucks. Here, Sustainable Sprout also looking terrible. Another leaf falls off. Serenity looking terrible. So I'll tell you what, looks like, as I said in the past, the jalapeno winner, definitely Sustainable Sprout. Cayenne winner, definitely Serenity. Maybe Nature's Edge with a runner-up there. Maybe, I don't know what would be the runner-up for the jalapenos. Might even be Rebel Gardens. Between Rebel Gardens and Serenity, I would probably have to say. But the habaneros are definitely Nature's Edge. It's the first Rebel Gardens habanero, 3.9. So these 3.9 peppers, check them out. There's the Nature's Edge, which is pretty small, but does have a ripe pepper and other peppers growing. Sustainable Sprout, Serenity, Rebel Gardens, all pretty terrible. But then we hit these 316 habaneros. Well, maybe not the Rebel Gardens at the end there, but these three are all doing really nicely. And I'm actually going to have to come out and grab these because I want to. Look at this. Look at all those ripe habaneros. Yes. Yes. This is where our first one came from. The plant the first one came from. These will all be picked. I will be cordoning off, as I always do, all the different pepper brands, peppers. And I am collecting the seeds, definitely from the Nature's Edge habaneros for next generation seeds. But I'll probably try to do all of them, because why not? I think that's should be part of the pepper brand experiment, how well we can propagate a second time. But again, see, more ripe peppers now on this on the Sustainable Sprout, and a bunch more on there. And finally, wait. Okay, I thought this Serenity also had some, but I am mistaken. It does have some peppers growing. There's actually, this is the biggest one here. I guess it's not bad. It might not take too much longer, but there aren't any other ones. Any other substantial ones, that is. There are more, I suppose. Clean up. I really should have been cleaning up around here. It doesn't actually take that long. Finally, this Rebel Gardens is the best Rebel Gardens. It's not looking great. Maybe has a couple started fruits, very very early started ones, but I don't think it'll last. I don't think any of the Rebel Gardens will end up producing, sadly enough. Maybe not even the Serenicities, the way they're going. Actually, you know what? Like I said, that Rebel Gardens, it was the best one, but this one here is also Rebel Gardens. And that's probably a bigger fruit on there than on the other one. So maybe we will have one. Actually, it already looks like it's turning a little bit. I'm still wondering if the cold changes that at all. But anyway, that is it for now, guys. I will be back probably soon with another video of some sort. Right now, I'm actually coming back here just to grab these. These are the sustainable sprout. Oh my goodness, if I rip off more than I want of these, I'm going to be so mad. I didn't do it there. Yeah, I'll probably be back soon with some other video on gardening, or others, because I actually have one planned to come out soon. That's my next shot of faith. Got some other things planned too. I'm probably going to do the next vlog or podcast episode, which I've been meaning to do 2 of every week, and I only did 1, and it's been like a month or so since then. But that's okay. We'll get on track with all this eventually. Some stuff came up. Some things have been coming up. It's been a little hectic, but it's all right. Those are our sustainable sprout habaneros, which I guess I would have to say sustainable sprout is the second best because it's the only other one that has any. But yeah, nice. Definitely take those 3. I'll be out for the rest of the Nature's Edge later whenever I can distinguish between the 2. For now, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I will probably just save. I was going to talk just a bit about just some other future potential things, but I guess I'll just maybe do that in a short video by itself. So for now, that's it. I will catch you in that video. Maybe tomorrow I'll post that, or at least record it or whatever. I have some other stuff, like I said, coming out. Stay tuned. Yeah, that's it. This is Academia Christi. This is the Viri Christi garden. This is the Viri Christi garden update. I'm Randy, the only host here for now. I'll see you later. Peace.